In this video, I want to look at 5 hardy, beautiful ornamental grasses that I believe every garden, large or small, should have at least one of. So this is grass number 1. This is Stipa tenuissima, aka the ponytail grass. It's an extremely tactile plant, it's evergreen, and it'll grow very happily provided it's not in overly wet soil and in full sun. One of the reasons I love to use this grass is partly because of its evergreen qualities, and in the spring all you have to do is you run your hands through it to take out the old leaves, but it is the perfect accompaniment with other perennials as well. So with sun and the right conditions you can't go wrong with this grass, and it will tend to seed around as well, which is in my book just a great bonus. Now, not only can you grow Stipa tenuissima in the ground, it's equally good in pots and containers. And I've got it growing here with Euphorbia silver swan. The euphorbia is evergreen and so is the grass. And the two together have this beautiful sort of ephemeral waftiness to them. And with a light breeze, there's movement all the time. And it's a pot that looks good throughout the year. I've always felt that ornamental grasses get something of a hard press. They're either deemed invasive or perhaps they're fashionable. Although with gardening, fashions come and go all the time. But for me, it's the people who have been the exponents of grasses and used them in their gardens and their designs who have made a massive impact on me as a gardener. None more so than Pete Udolph, who was at the forefront of introducing the use of grasses into our gardens. Celebrating the fact that they're not just a quick fix, they are giving you so much interest in the garden for a very long proportion of the season. It's hard to choose a favourite grass, but I think this is it for me. This is Miscanthus Morning Light. Whilst it's not an evergreen grass, it has the most extraordinary structure in the winter time when it takes on this light brown biscuity silver colour, and it means that throughout the winter you've got this wonderful structure. It's a fluted vase-like shape, and eventually it produces flower spikes a bit later on. Very tactile, very graceful, and a really good clump forming grass. So this is another really good evergreen grass. This is Carex testacea, and its common name is the New Zealand orange sedge. Extremely tough. Again, much like the grasses we've looked at already, it likes sun, it likes well-drained soil. And provided you can give it those conditions, it's a very good one where space is limited because of its compact nature. Because big grasses are good, but we don't necessarily have all the space. Now, so far I've been talking about grasses for sun, but there are some that will grow in shade. There's not that many, but this is one of them. And this is Milium, effusum, Aureum. Really rolls off the tongue, that one. But it's a glorious, deep goldy colour, and that gold colour really sort of is drawn out of it when with the shade. In the sun it struggles a bit, get a bit miserable, but give it some shade, damp roots, and it's extremely happy. So now I'm going to plant our final grass in this sequence, and this is Panicum virgatum squaw. It's a slightly funny name, but don't let that put you off. The reason it's so good in my book is because it develops this beautiful red colouring to the leaves, which a lot of the ornamental grasses don't. It's a good strong clump former, grindingly slow to come out in the spring, but when it does, it really picks up speed, and during the winter time it's got a fabulous strong structure. Even when it's dead, it looks absolutely beautiful. So for my money, it's one of the best. So I've got a really good spot for this Panicum in our grass border, which is predominantly composed of ornamental grasses. It's at the front of the border here, just in front of this clump of Persicaria. I've had to make a bit of space, but it should be just the right spot for us. So I'm just going to take it out of its pot. It's got a nice loose root system, so it's not too bound up, so you don't have to tease the roots too much. It's nice and wet as well. In fact, the ground in this border is wet because we've had rain for the past few days, so I'm not going to worry too much about watering this, but if we do get a dry spell in the next fortnight, it will need a drink, but once it's established, the beauty of grasses is that they're very drought tolerant, so you really don't have to worry about them. In future videos, I want to look at how we can use grasses in so many different ways, because I'm on a personal mission to get you using grasses in your gardens, no matter how small or large they are.